Hi guys, today I'm going to show you some technical steps on how to use Google Sites for your electronic portfolio for several of the assignments in this class. So while you're enrolled in IDL, you will be asked to upload artifacts from every single class into your electronic portfolio. At this point in the program, we're using Google Sites. So that is the software site that you will be asked to use. And in this particular class, you will be uploading a lot to your portfolio, pretty much, almost everything that we do, not quite everything, but just about. In the first week, you will be doing an introduction to your LMS evaluation, and this will be the introduction to the board. And so on that page, you'll have an LMS evaluation and introduction, an introduction to D2L Brightspace, an introduction to your learning management system, and a weekly recommendation. This will continue in weeks 2 through 6, where you will have different content, but the format will be the same in 2 through 6. It will start out with the learning management system evaluation introduction, and then you will do a how-to tutorial for the 5 tools for D2L Brightspace. And each week within weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you will have 5 different tools. You'll have a section header to identify this entire section about desire to learn. Then while you're doing the 5 tool evaluation, you will have a subsection header for each one of those tools. And some of the tools will have a subheader with some text context about that tool. And then it will either be a screenshot image with step-by-step instructions or a step-by-step screenshot video. This will continue the same thing for your how-to tutorials for the same 5 tools for your learning management system too. Most people will be using Canvas. Some folks will be using Google Classroom. And then you will always wrap it up at the bottom with an LMS weekly recommendation. This recommendation changes from week to week, and you'll give a final recommendation at the end of the class. And that will be in week number 7, where you do the final evaluation for the learning management system and also Quality Matters. And this will be on your portfolio also. Each one of these weeks will have a new and different web page within your portfolio in Google Sites. So the last week you will have, again, section headers where you give an introduction, you give the learning management system final recommendation, the Quality Matters final recommendation, and then evaluator background. So all of this is uploaded to your Google Sites electronic portfolio. I'm going to give just a brief overview of it in this video. Refer to pilot content for detailed information, both for the technical how-to steps. It lists, if you go into pilot, click on the content section, go into the technical steps section, there is a page specifically with a step-by-step information about how to do the Google Sites electronic portfolio. And if you want information about what goes into the assignment information, go into content, go into the week, and go into the assignment, and that tells you the content that should be included. So let's go ahead and get into the technical steps for Google Sites. So give me a minute and I will pull that up here. All right, so first you want to hopefully everybody has a Google Sites electronic portfolio. If not, you need to create one. So you will go to google.com and click on, these are called the waffle icon for the Google apps. Click there and go to Google Drive. And this is where you will want to have saved your portfolio, created it. And this is where I have mine saved right here, and you'll want to pull it up and it's going to come up for you. And we will go ahead and open it up. Okay, so this would be your portfolio. you want to get started for the whole class, getting started. So we'll come over here to pages, and you need to have a folder for each and every class that you take in IDL. So we'll go ahead and click on the plus here at the bottom and create a new folder to save everything from IDL 7140 for this class, and we'll go ahead and click done, and it gets created right there. Now you will go ahead and set up, because you want a similar look and feel for all of the pages within this particular class. Now in a different class, 7200, 7230, you can change the look and feel for those classes, but for every page within this class, it needs to have the same look, the same feel, the same banner, the same section headers, so you have a consistency branding from start to finish. So we're going to go ahead and to change it, the first thing we're going to do is change the name of the banner to IDL-7140 LMS and evaluation. So the name of the class. That we're going to resize the banner so that it fills the entire width of the web page. The next thing we're going to do is change the background of the banner to get what we want. So we can click the little down arrow over here, and we can select, come over here. You can upload one that you want, or you can go through and select the ones that they have in here for you to pick from. Let me grab some water. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and pick this one and hit select, and it goes through and it modifies it. You can, so we'll go ahead and get started with the pages. Click, we're still under pages on the right hand side. Click the 3 ellipses to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and say add subpage, and the new subpage is going to be week number 1. Now in week number 1, we're going to set this page up, and this is the page that we will duplicate so that we have consistency on each and every page after that. So I'm going to come back over here to where it says week number 1. I'm going to change the banner to the name of the class, IDL-7140 LMS and evaluation. Okay, valuation, trying to type and talk at the same time. And I'm going to enlarge that. So we have a banner. And then we're going to come and so we see the one thing we have is the same banner. We're going to do a web page banner on each and every page. And how you do that in Google Sites, if you remember, you just double click on the page itself and you get the options wheel. In this case, we want text, and we're going to call this week 1. And every week that we have it, it will be, and I'm going to do it in all caps. So it'll be week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. But we need to make our electronic portfolio accessible for individuals that have disabilities. And so in that case, we need to make this work with a speaking browser. So it needs to use headers for cascading style sheet. So right now it's just normal text, and we want to have headers so that it's like a newspaper where they can scan the headers to just skim and see what the information's about. So I'm going to change that, and I'm going to make that week 1, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to align that to center, and I'm going to come over here to the color on the left hand side that looks like a little paint palette, and I'm going to go ahead and make that the darker color there. So we have week number 1, and then we're going to have section headers. Most of the assignments, again, have an introduction, and then there's going to be regular text right here. So we'll put the regular text. So when I come to the introduction, I'm going to change the text from normal to a heading, and I'm going to come over here and give that a background, but a lighter background. So in the introduction section, I'm going to come over here, and I just for now just need some regular text, so I'm going to copy that off of another website. obviously you're going to be typing the information in or copying it from another document. So I'm going to paste that in there. So I've just put some, some text, some filler text in there. So we're going to come down and we go to the next section and we're going to double click here. And this would be perhaps the section where you're going to do the Learning Management System evaluation for D2L. So I'll type in, I forget exactly what the title is, with D2L evaluation. So now if you remember each week, especially when you get to weeks 2 through 6, you're going to evaluate 5 tools for Desire to Learn and 5 tools for your Learning Management System 2. So we will need to have subsection headers for each one of those. So I'm going to give a quick introduction here. Okay, so in D2L, I'm going to come back and change that, make that a heading, give it the background that I want. So you see that, we have the heading sections. And this could just be an introduction saying this week we're going to take a look at accessibility for Desire to Learn, something about that. And then we're going to have subsection headers. So let's say this is, no, that's not where I wanted it. I wanted it down here. So I'm going to double click down here. We can move this around if it's, forgive me, let's try this one more time. Okay, so we are trying to put it down beneath here. Well, it's not wanting, just we'll move it up again. So this would be tool number 1. And I'm going to change that from header to subheading. And I'm going to do you see the little kind of dots to the left? That allows us to move it. So here we have the D2L evaluation, a little bit overview about it, and then we're going to evaluate tool number 1. So in this case, if we want to insert a screenshot image that has the numbers that correspond to the step-by-step information. So if the first information, tool number 1, is a Dropbox, we can come down over here. We're going to have an image on the left and text on the right. So you can come over here on the right, and it has content blocks where I can drag this over, and it gives us a template where I can do an image right here on the left and text information over there on the right. And then it should have created all that information ahead of time. So we will go ahead and I'm going to get the instructions, I will go to my Word document that I've already written down the instructions. So I'm copying them right now and click here to edit. I'm going to paste them in and get that out of there. Okay, so we have the step-by-step, Dropbox creation step number 1. And then we need the image over here on the left that corresponds. And so we're going to upload that image, and I'm going to go find that image right here. And that's in assignments, and it's in Google, and there it is right there. And that would have been an image that I had created before that. So over here on the left, we have the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think I need to make that a little bit bigger for everything to show up. I do. And then over here on the right, here's the step-by-step instructions. So we have the Dropbox. Now, you still want to add some text context to give the audience information about the Dropbox. So I'm going to go ahead here and type in that information. I'm going to come over here and just copy some, text to put it in. And come back over here to the website, which is right here. I'm going to delete that out of there. paste it in, take out any extra spaces. So, and then we can move it. So I'm going to drag this up here. Probably going to be easier to move this one beneath that. Yeah. So here we are. We have the first tool, the Dropbox, a little bit of text information about what the audience is about to see. Then over here, we have the screenshot image that you created in Snagit that has the numbers that you stamped onto them or you added. And then this is the corresponding step-by-step information. So you would continue. Now, you want a similar look and feel. So what I usually like to do is duplicate these and then drag it to the bottom. And this is going to be toolbox tool number 2. And I forget the next tool. Let's, TBD, put the next tool. And then if this is a screenshot image, you could just come over here and insert and put another content block. But in this case, we're going to do a YouTube video. So you could double click here. And in this case, we're going to click embed and click the embed code. And this is where you would insert the embed code from the YouTube video. And in case you don't know where to get that, let me come over here to a YouTube video. I'll just grab one off of there. And when you go into any YouTube video, I'll type in IDL. And if we come over here, we will come, if you come over here and you click on share and you click on embed, that is the embed code. So we will copy that. And if I come back to the document, and we double click here and you click on embed and then select embed code. And I'm going to paste that in there, click on next. It will give you a preview. Yep, that looks good. And then you're going to need to resize it so that it shows up and you can see it all. You might even need to center it. And again, I'm going to copy the text section and drag it down. And I'm going to drag down the YouTube video beneath that. So the second section, again, you've got the subtitle. You're going to have a text context information to provide the audience information about the next tool they're about to see. Explain to them that you've created this, YouTube video with it. And then here's the YouTube video that they can watch. So continue this process with the, copying of these sections of the subsection. And then when we're done with all 5 tools, we need to restart this process with not the same idea, the 5 tools, but with your second learning management system. So I'm going to copy this section and I'm going to drag it down to the bottom. And in this case, it's not, bear with me, I missed it. So it's not D2L evaluation. This would be my LMS2, and most likely that's going to be Canvas or Google Classroom. So again, you would do the 5 tools and put that information, and then I'm going to, when I get to the last section, which would be weekly recommendation, again, you're going to type in your text, put it in there. So I can just come over here and take this text section, copy it, drag it back down here, and hold on, you've got to get the blue line there for it to go. And then you're going to type it in. When you're doing your weekly recommendation, you absolutely need to pick one product or the other. You can't say it was too close for me to call. You are required to make a selection, and you're required to give a rationale for that. And at that point, you can say things like, well, it was a very close this week, or one was clearly better than the other. and here's why, and you need to provide that rationale. So you go through and you have all of that information in your Google Sites, and when you're done, you're going to come up to the upper right hand corner where my mouse is showing the publish, and I'm going to click on publish, and it will go ahead, and you need to publish it. It will go ahead and take just a few minutes to publish that website when it's going to come up versus the draft versus the current. And if it looks good, go ahead and click publish again. And down here at the bottom, it does show that your site has been published, and you can click on view to quickly get that URL, because you need the URL to be able to add that to your, when you upload the assignment to Pilot Dropbox and you do your self-reflection and you need that URL, but you can see that it goes away, and what if you missed it? So if you did miss it, you can come up here to the top where it says copy published site link. I find it easier just to get it there, and it comes up and it lists it again, and you can copy the link, and that's the URL that when you're publishing, you go into your Pilot Dropbox to do your self-reflection about what were your strengths and challenges and areas for improvement, and the URL to your Google Sites electronic portfolio. Don't forget to change the properties of that so that it launches in a new website. Now, when we're done with week 1, coming back to the pages, and we're ready to do week 2 and week 3, so that we want to have the exact same look and feel, we can click on the 3 little ellipses to the right. And in this case, we're going to say duplicate page. And this is going to be, instead of week 1, it's going to be week 2, and click on done. And it should put it right beneath it so that you can see hierarchically that it's underneath the main IDL-7140 web page. And these are called child pages. They're sub pages of it. And so the next pages, now the reason why they need to be child sub pages is that up at the top in the pull down menu, and it says IDL-7140, then it will list all the child or sub pages underneath of it. And when you click on it to get started, let me click on week 1, and then we'll go to week 2. We will go ahead and make that change to week 2, and then you come down here and you can start changing the content for week 2. So now you can see the difference. There's the week 1 page, here's the week 2 page, and they look the same and they act the same, but they're going to have the updated and revised information. And when you're done with week 2, again, you'll come up and you will click on publish. It's going to go ahead and do the updated information and then publish again. And you get the updated URL. When you put the URL, you always want to have it for the week that you're working on. So the URL for week 2, the URL for week 3, so that the instructor does not have to navigate through your entire website to be able to find it. So that's how you do your Google Sites for this particular class. It's a little different for week 1 because you don't quite have as much. It's a little different for week 7 because you're really just publishing the final results. But in general, that's what you're going to be doing. All right, good luck, guys. And I am looking forward to seeing your assignments. Thanks. Bye.